versus evil Decepticons with the fate of Predator hanging in the balance. Transformers Generation 2. And now...
Hello there everybody, this is Grant, my channel is the Collector75. Welcome to part 4 of my Transformers Generation 2 comics review. So, after the events of part 3, in which many of you may have thought that there wasn't any other Generation 2 comics, well, this one is the ill-fated Transformers Generation 2 UK comic that came out literally, I think it was about a month or two after issue 12 of the American one actually came out. So this one started just as the other one got cancelled, basically. At the time I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, British comics were in a period of transition. Back in the 70s and the 80s, actually British comics were actually really very good. But nowadays, especially now, British comics are only aimed at the under 7s, if anything, and so they're hardly even worth bothering about. Save 2000 AD, which is the only comic now aimed at anyone over the age of 10. But this one came out in that period between the two, the transitional period. So as you can see, British comics has to have something free that comes with it, to even they think that's what it has to come with to appeal to children these days. Whereas in my day, you know, it was only every now and again they would have a free thing, or like free poster, free little badge or whatever. But now every issue has to have something free they think to appeal to children. Maybe they do, who knows. Anyway, so we start here at issue number 1. As you can see, it comes with some exclusive free stickers. A nice big one there, a Transformers Generation 2. A bit of a mark on my one there, don't know how that happened. And on the back, as you can see, we've got Optimus Prime, Megatron, a few little sound bites there. Pretty cool. I like the Decepticon sticker, that one's pretty cool. Anyway, so we open it up. These comics are now actually really hard to come by. I only have issue number 1 and 2. I'm going to try and get some images of the other 3 issues, but issue number 1 and 2, the ones I have, are the only ones that I actually managed to find at the time, and that have any original work in them. So, number 1, I've got mine signed by Simon Furman. Now, I was reading on Wiki about these two, and even though it's credited him with writing this story, there are reports of him not actually saying that it wasn't him who wrote it. But then again, he's also said that he has wrote it, so who knows. Maybe someone out there knows. But anyway, it's his first issue, giant pull-out poster, all action story, war without end, fantastic war freeze, spelled a very strange way. And it says it's not a game anymore, and it's also got up here, the end was just the beginning. So we move in, this comic actually transforms, it says there, and if you open it out you've got some character profiles there of Megatron and Ramjet. We've got an information page, and now we come to the original story, which is War Without End. And it is kind of a retelling of Tales of Earth, Tales of Earth really, where the Decepticons invade Earth to get Optimus Prime and his creation matrix to give life to new Transformers, only now it works in a different series of events. We see here, this is a little bit of a backstory of just how the Transformers came to Earth and everything. And so now you can see the war world there attacking Earth, and we see Bludgeon, but now he's already got his second generation Transformers, like we've got Sizzle there and stuff, and lots of the European exclusive Generation 2 Transformers appear in this. We've got them attacking this time in London, because obviously this was a UK comic, so they thought, well, you know what, let's have it attack in London, which was pretty cool, to be honest. So we've got Flame Feather there, the Generation 2 UK exclusives. Pretty much the same sort of storyline up until now. Here we have Optimus Prime with the proper Generation 2 coloured Jazz, Psytype and Scram, I believe it was. And this is another retelling of the origin of the Transformers, there we go. And more stuff, and he's with his apocalyptic visions. And if we open out this cover, it comes into fold out into a giant poster. Pretty cool, strange artwork there. And the Autobots race off to stop Bludgeon, who aren't causing nearly as much damage as they did in the US issues. Probably because this one is aimed at a slightly lower age group. Strange, but there we go. Anyway, you can see Megatron here in the background. And this time Optimus Prime rushes into battle against Bludgeon and everything. And then obviously you can see here, I can't remember his name, Pterodive maybe. They're attacking and everything like that, blah 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 blah, as you can see, and so forth. But this time, just as Optimus Prime's about to conquer Bludgeon one for all there is on the ground, Megatron appears and says, "Megatron, thanks to you, Prime, Bludgeon is now defeated. Nothing can stop me retaking my rightful place as leader of the Decepticons." Here is a page dedicated to all the Transformers Generation 2 action figures that are available, which is pretty smart. So it's a good way of actually tracking down all those hard to get figures. On the back cover we've got more fact files for Grimlock and Optimus Prime. So we close it up, and I believe there was a next issue on the thing. It says Dinobots in attack mode. That's a strange picture. It looks like it was copied out of a cartoon. Anyway, right, so we put that one over there. This is issue number 2. There we are. As you can see, more stickers. Let me just turn that over. This time we've got Grimlock and Dinobots in their Generation 2 actual action figure coloured. Right, so here we are. Issue number 2. And it says, the giant Generation 2 competition inside. I did enter this and I didn't win, which is a shame. So we've got Grimlock on the cover this time. And this does open out again for more fact files of Jazz and Piranha, also known in America as Manta Ray. So, we now start with Warzone with Megatron, and this is Megatron's explanation of how he got back. Basically, just Optimus was just saying, "I thought you was destroyed." Skydive reported that the spacecraft, the Ark, and all aboard her destroyed. And he says, blah 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 blah. Basically, he just says he survived, and then he says, "Human scientists, would you believe they helped me create this form?" Just goes to show they do have their uses. Eliminating the need to actually say that he was created by the G.I. Joe team. It doesn't actually say it, just says human scientists. We never get an explanation, but other than that. So then Megatron starts trashing Optimus Prime. Grimlock wakes up after being beaten by Megatron. And then we have some more Decepticons returning. And he says, "Oh my god, Bludgeon's been defeated. And Megatron's returned." So, but these are the UK exclusive Stormtroopers. So they see Megatron there. And they said, well, Bludgeon down, let's just take out Megatron. So then all the Decepticons turn on Megatron. And that's what happens in the story. All the Decepticons turn on Megatron. He goes, well, before you can serve me, you must first fear me. In the middle, we have a giant, actually it's pretty cool, game. It's like a board game. Rush to the War World. You've got the Autobot side and the Decepticon side. Pretty cool. These original early G2 comics actually did remind me of a lot of the early G1 stuff. Pretty cool, because like in the original annuals, you used to do weird games like that, and I used to love it. So we continue with the story, and as you can see, the Decepticons are still attacking Megatron. The Dinobots rush to Optimus Prime's aid, and then they wade into the battle against Megatron, and then take on some Decepticons as well. And then what happens then? Megatron, realising that he's using up far too much energy and this is a losing battle, signals Starscream to basically to help him get out of here. As you can see, there's a weird little Autobot symbol down there. That's to do with the competition. If you can spot them all and tell me how many's in the issue, you have got a chance of winning the prize, which we'll come on to in a minute. And basically they send off all the Decepticons. Optimus Prime asks Grimlock what's going on, and he tells them that he's found some second generation Decepticons far out in space, and he says this could be what my recent visions have been warning me of, or there could be something else out there waiting for us, something worse. And that is it. That is the only original story in these 5 issues of what made up the Transformers Generation 2 UK run. I don't have the other 3. The other 3 basically, as far as I know, just reprint some of the American issues. That's about it. It's a shame, absolute shame. Apparently you were lucky if you could find these. I found these in one shop near me on my way to work one day. Never found the others. I did see issue 1 of them, I can't remember which one. At the time I didn't buy it because I thought it was just a reprint. And these are quite expensive. How much were these? They're about £1.95. £1.50. They were quite expensive back then, you know, for what they were. Anyway, so then we come on to the exclusive once-in-a-lifetime competition. and you can win all 47 robots that comprise the Generation 2 line. Pretty cool, and all you've got to do is spot those Autobot insignias, and there's more fact files. Pretty smart. So they are the two worth getting issues of Transformers Generation 2 UK. Now, they did also produce a UK annual, which I never even knew about at the time, but I found out about it, and then I saw it on eBay, and I got it fairly cheaply actually. This now is aimed at children because some of the storylines are very, very strange, but it does hark back and it does remind me of my early G1 stories because, I don't know, it's hard. I'll try and explain it as we go through it. Just because the way they're drawn very much like the actual toys are as they were in the original G1 comics, like the Marvel UK ones. Got Optimus Prime, Megatron there, and some of the stories are very, almost those early days of the G1 cartoons. I'm not going to go too much about the stories in here. There is only one really noteworthy. You've got Day of the Decepticons. You've got lots of pictures. You've got not competitions, but you've got crossword. You've got fact files on the heroic Autobots. You've got quickfire. I don't know what that is. It's another puzzle. You know, it is very much G1. And then you've got this one, which is the Dinobots, which an origin for the Dinobots, they just erupt out of the ground. That is it. But it does go on to say that, you know, they were buried millions of years ago, blah, 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 blah. And we've got a picture of Megatron there, the G2 Megatron. It's an okay storyline. It isn't as bad as what I did read a review of it once. I thought it was, you know, it wasn't that bad, really. So, there we go. Then you've got fact files on the evil Decepticons. Spot the difference. And opposing forces, basically like the tech specs kind of. And it's funny how they did include Transformers that had no toys or were never going to produce any toys for the G2 line, like Soundwave. But we've got more quiz there, and Moving Day, Planet Earth. And that is it. That was it. The only UK annual they ever produced. It wasn't bad, if I'm honest with you. It's very strange looking. That is out of the cartoon. This round the side is like of the cartoon with the Cybernet Space Cube. Right, so then we're on to the last ever Generation 2 fiction, and we have Alignment. Now I did get this at Transforce 2001. This is book 1, and this is the climax of the Generation 2 storyline. This is set about 200 years after the end of the G2 comic, and is a precursor to Beast Wars, funnily enough, because Grimlock is sent out in search of Energon because Cybertron is so depleted in power, and you know they're contemplating downsizing and everything like that. The Decepticons are a spent force. Some of the Decepticons are creating counter-factions. One of the biggest and growing movements is one called the Predacons, which obviously will become the Predacons later on in Beast Wars and everything like that. And this is it. And this all. I'm not going to go into the storyline. I mean, you could probably find this on Wiki or somewhere. Somewhere's bound to have put this on the internet, or you can probably get it on eBay. Who knows? But it's alright. It's quite a good storyline. It features doesn't actually feature Optimus Prime. He's actually sort of like pretty much been destroyed by now. And we've got Galvatron 2, which you would have seen in my UK comics where he came from, and the US comics actually. And this is it. Basically, it's just where the Autobots go out in search of Energon. They come across the Hub and the Liege Maximo in deep space as he prepares for the alignment of some stars that will basically make him ascend into a god. And it also features the return of Megatron in his more G1-esque. As you can see, there's a great CGI rendition of him there. This is obviously a fan-made comic, but it is wrote by Simon Furman, which is pretty cool. The book 2, which is the climax, I got in Transforce 2002. This does include also book 1, and it's this time a much smaller book. And as you can see, it's mainly all text with a few pictures. With some art by Andrew Wildman, Jeff Senior, and a few other people. Really good. It is. I read it the other day actually, just to finish off G2, and is actually very good. It does wrap everything up. A few people do die in it. I'm not going to tell you who. But it's very good and does explain what the hub was and who the Liege Maximo was. Right, that is it for my Transformers Generation 2 comics review and my, in fact, all Transformers comics reviews, funnily enough. I might continue on doing some of the later stuff, maybe even the Regeneration one. As I write this, as I actually am videoing this video, funnily enough, issue 84 has just come out, so by when I actually upload this, because I want to do this because I wanted to get these comics out of the way, because I brought them from my mum's house to here, and I just want to get these videos done and out of the way, so they're probably going to have to wait a year or two now before I actually upload them. So yeah, I might get onto doing them or something like that, or maybe some other people. I might even do some more comics reviews of something else, who knows, because I like doing these. Anyway, right, so this is Graham, the Collector 75, signing off. Bye for now.
Heroic Autobots versus evil Decepticons with the fate of Predator hanging in the balance. Transformers Generation 2. And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced stories of the Transformers. Transformers Generation 2.